Hey everybody, we're back in the action. It's Magikowski on the mic because Mikowski wants to pick up where he left off. Was that bold prediction that Native White break into top 4, but I tell you what, they're not going to make it to see that prediction through unless they can get through Sentinels. This is quite the test in front of them. Barcode with a cheeky little crouch position gets the melee kill, and right now things are looking good for Native White.
Check your corners, and if you're lethal there, check your crevices as Barcode tucked himself in, got the kill, still slaying out, still on this spree. Sparty, can he take down 2? That would be a monster win. Sparty and Kuhlect in the face of Barcode. Those are their top 2 slayers for Sentinels. Goes to show the slaying prowess of Barcode, taking down Spartan and then sending Kuhlect scurrying away.
Don't look now. Barcode is 9-0, just 1 away from the 10 spree and rounds the corner. That's a frenzy for Barcode. The total roster of Sentinels sitting at only 4 slays.
0 for KingNick, 0 for LethuL, 0 for Sentinels on the board. We might see a clean wipe here, 100-0 for Native White on the back of that killing frenzy from Barcode. And in typical Caster's Curse fashion, he goes down.
Yeah, see, I had to get the frenzy in there for Barcode, but honestly, it's not discredited. Even if he goes down, 82-0 is the score across the objective. Mikwen with the Bulldog is taken out, and here's Kuhlect with Rockets. The first round of Rockets went to Barcode. Finally, Sentinels with some signs of life, and Kuhlect needs to slay out. The double kill is a good start.
Yeah, if you're going to come back in this series as a Sentinels roster, down 82-0, you're going to need your top dogs like Sparty and Kuhlect to pop off. Kuhlect had those rockets, was able to utilize them, but no. Goes down just a few seconds later to the battle rifle as KingNick there with the oddball and a little bit of Stalker as well. And I imagine this big Magic, they're just going to play, or excuse me, down this big.
Yeah. They're
going to have to slay out here and maybe overextend and press for some time as we see just that. KingNick picking up the oddball right as the pressure was coming from Native White. LethuL having to do a little bit more of the same. You got Barcode in the attic. He's not a rat in the tunnels. He's an eagle soaring high as Native White only 15 seconds away from putting their stamp, their mark on this series.
What a great rotation from Barcode, and it looks like that is going to be one of the quickest oddball rounds we've seen. If these last 4 seconds come through, don't count your rounds until you see the 1-0, and that's going to be enough. Barcode throughout round 1, 12-2, and we heard earlier when we were talking to King J, watch out for Barcode with a sniper. Just watch out for Barcode, period.
Yeah, Sentinels coming into this match as the 3rd best kill-death ratio team here in Oddballs. Did not see the amount of slays needed. And if really, let's pull it back a little bit, if not for Barcode popping off, this would be a much more even, close game. But that's why we play the game. To see moments like this from Barcode, another double kill for him as Native White once again regains control of that oddball.
You know, as I was leaving the venue today to head over here to the Airbnb, I passed Barcode and I said, "Great job today." And he says, "Thanks, Magic." He knew my name, but I have to think that very brief 5-second exchange, you know, it might have just motivated Barcode.
Transferred some aim assist his way.
Yeah, he's giving it, you know, I said good luck, keep it up, and he is.
Yeah, Barcode looking great. Again, I usually don't get stuck on the scoreboard, but I can't help but find myself looking at it. 16-3 for Barcode. Most importantly, Magic, he's second in OBJ for his team, so it's not like he's statting, he's not padding, he's playing to win, and he's playing damn good Halo at that.
Oh, and look at this fight, though. He's in a 1v2, and it's Kuhlect who comes out with the kill, but it was both Kuhlect and Spartan who were left weakened by Barcode, lurking in that cafe, picking up, you know, some nice grilled cheese and maybe tomato soup back there. He's going to find himself, unfortunately, between 2 Sentinels players. Sentinels not letting round 2 run away like we saw early on in the first round, but it's still Barcode that they have to worry about.
Yeah, classic Halos played to 250 seconds, I believe. My old man memory might be jogging and fading. But here in Halo Infinite, we have these 3 rounds. And the reason I bring that up is because for Sentinels, that was a big opportunity for them off of the reset to take advantage, kind of take a deep breath, you know, compose yourself, calm yourself. But no, Native White start off this round exactly like they did the last, up 40-4 here. The same domination we saw in round 1 is continuing here in round 2, and it's not like Barcode is on a killing frenzy again. So the Native White, the eye test, they're passing with flying colors.
Yeah, I think the one difference here for Sentinels and maybe the gleaming light of hope has got to be Kuhlect, 11 and 10 as he unfortunately finds the wrong end of that rocket from Mikwen. Rocket's going to be going down. Kuhlect is leading the way for Sentinels on Slays, but you need the whole team to rally behind those opening picks. LethuL and Kuhlect each picking up 1. That's 3 going down for Native White. Those are the kind of pushes that Sentinels need more of.
Great recognition, though, there by Gilkey. Tried to get that oddball out to the palm trees to make it a little bit more difficult for Sentinels to maintain this hold here. Looked back, realized it didn't go over the ledge, threw it over the ledge, and because of that, a little bit of a delay here. And if you're Sentinels, you need every single second. So I know it's only a 2 to 3 second difference, but man, down like this, down 1-0 in the round and down by a 2-1 margin in this round, you do, in fact, need every second if you're LethuL.
Yeah, and LethuL is really trying to get the most out of that oddball time. He has to play the ball out towards kind of the open, a little bit more area for it to be, countered. But it's tapping buttons rolling through, getting that pickup.
And look at this. Look at where tapping buttons picked up the oddball in the back of C.
Right.
Free positioning. He actually elects, because he doesn't have the teammate support here at C, to play the oddball preemptively. That would not happen without this 2-1 margin here. And you gotta love Native White taking advantage of the situation. Another instance where a player doesn't check their corners. Tapping buttons is gonna make you pay for that as Kuhlect goes down. 2 go down for Sentinels. And this is unbelievable. Almost like an Optic in that series against G1, just playing for the time. That 3 minutes left, 3-0 on the hill. Seeing a little bit more of that slaying strategy here as Native White once again do grab that oddball.
Yeah, and Barcode at the 20 kills and also holding on to the objective. The push is coming through. The break from Sentinels, but it's a 1v1. Gilkey is left at low health. Spartan's going to find that takedown. And look at this spawn now from Sentinels. They really locked down that subway spawn, and they're going to get the benefits from it. But where are Rockets? I lost them.
Where are Rockets? Where's the oddball? Because neither team has elected to pick it up here. More strategy for the side of Native White. More desperation here for Sentinels as they finally get their hands on that oddball. 30 seconds and rolling now. Breaking that 2-1 margin. Sentinels starting to come back.
Yeah, they're starting to match kill for kill as well, which is why you're seeing some objective time here. LethuL knows that there's a player at the bottom of A. It's Gilkey singled out, locked down, team fire to shut him down. LethuL still has plenty of ammo left in that commando as he fires out, but it's tapping buttons finding the kill. The break coming through so quickly from Native White.
And this is again why that oddball play ball was so crucial for Native White, because now you have Sentinels kind of in no man's land here, right in between the 2 anchor points of A and C. Which direction do you take this oddball? If you are lucky enough to regain control of it here as Kuhlect, gonna need a couple more slays to grab control of that ball again.
And Kuhlect is still leading the way for Sentinels with slays. We got the Bulldog in hand, a nice little cleanup shot onto Gilkey, but watch out. Grenades are in play, the spike grenades at that. Kuhlect ducking back, recharging the shield. And again, oddball kind of in no man's land. If Kuhlect goes for the pickup there, he's immediately going to get focus fired. Look at the grenades, look at the explosions. We're in the middle of an action flick.
This is unbelievable. How is this? The ball hasn't reset, and it feels like it's just been sitting there at the benches for 30 seconds after 30 seconds after 30 seconds. Now just 1:15 left in regulation. So interesting strategy forming here for Native White as they got to 59 seconds and kind of just said, we don't need any more, which is very interesting when you look at the fact that Sentinels is not down by much.
Not down much at all. 16 seconds only. Rockets being snuck away. Gilkey staying at a safe distance and just softening up players for teammates to clean up on those kills. But it's Kuhlect who has the rockets in hand. He gets 1 takedown with the use of those rockets. Barcode rotating through the back of Subway, but seeing the 1v2, opts to play back, and now we're just down to 40 seconds. Here's the pickup from LethuL. Sentinels getting to the oddball just in time, but as soon as they pick it up, they have to throw it out just again.
Will this strategy pay off for Native White? They played this oddball magic like they were up 3-0 in a King of the Hill. Instead, it's Spartan and Sentinels mounting a comeback, now down less than 10. They've brought this lead back down to single digits. Sparty juggling the oddball for now after Kuhlect goes down. He knows he needs a few more slays because the pressure is on from Native White.
The pressure is on. Spartan with 18 assists right now. Also climbing up in the kills, something we didn't see in round number 1, but the team fire from Sentinels has been enough to break these holds. Hold after hold being broken. 10 seconds on the clock. Sentinels are down by 6. They need to desperate. Mikwen at the high ground, looking for the next player to rush. Milking for time. 3, 2, LethuL running. Nobody's going to make it in time. Tapping buttons get the double kill to buy the last few seconds.
Unbelievable. The risk leads to reward for Native White as Magic. There had to be 2 minutes and 15 seconds left or so in regulation, and it was only a 15-20 second game in oddball. That's just one hold the whole time. Maybe Native White sees something in their team that we don't.
I would have to think so. I mean, we're starting to see some different strategies come into play. And this one, like you said, it was a high risk, high reward play. They get to cash out on a game 1 win off of milking so much time. You might see milking for time when there's like, if it's oddball, below a minute. But past a minute, what was it, 2 minutes?
Well, usually you milk the oddball, right? You milk the oddball. You don't, not the clock. Here in this case, Native White milking the clock instead of the oddball. And they never had, it's not like, sure, the first round they had that 80 lead. That's where you might just play it out. But instead, that round 2, they were only up by 6 there at the end.
Yeah, I was 16 for that big section of time, but you're right.
16, 16 for a long stretch, that final minute 15, the last 15 seconds. But within the last 15, 20 seconds of regulation, it was like a 5 to 2 match.
Yeah.
This one easily could have went back to Sentinels, but for Native White and Coach Trey, got to give a credit to them for sticking to their guns, having a strategy going into this match that we haven't quite seen the likes of from any other team.
You had talked about this from the last series, Native White. It was kind of the lead up to your bold prediction of top 4 with them. And what you had said is they're looking better and better each time we see them. That's what we saw right there. Wow, we knew Sentinels was going to be a test. And it's not a series over yet, but you take it 1 game at a time. You take it 1 round of slays at a time. Sometimes you take it an individual piv at a time.
Yeah.
And that's what Native White are doing. You know, it's kind of the old fable of like, how do you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time? They're starting to do that through all of this bracket.
And you know what scares an elephant the most?
A mouse?
The little things, a mouse. That's exactly right. That's why we're duos, Magic. You know exactly what I was about to say there. Magikowski on full display here. Thank you guys again so much for tuning into LVT Halo this weekend as we present live broadcast from the Airbnb high-rise just across the street from HCS Charlotte. We feel like we're in the venue, though, don't we? I don't know. We got like our own kind of venue vibe here. The energy, we went to the open bracket. This is almost like the passion pit of casting.
I like it. So, you know, in this passion pit here, Cassie, you know, this is like the core LVT team. And, you know, we just want to say a quick thank you, obviously, to the community. We mentioned it before, but I can't say it enough. Thank you so much. This is a community-funded project. We wouldn't be here without you. And I hope you're enjoying the coverage. I'm certainly having a great time. I got to hop over to the venue earlier this morning, last night for the end of the open bracket. So really, for me, best of both worlds. Sometime on the floor experiencing the event, and then obviously right here getting to talk about the game that we all love.
Yeah. And going into this game, too, live fire Team Slayer. Interesting to note, Native White, the only team with a positive win ratio this weekend.
Wow.
With an average KD less than 1.0. How do they do that on a Slayer?
I don't.
Oh, it's a weighted average. All right, so that makes sense. No stat break. Yep. Okay, so
it's close wins and or losses for Native White.
It's close wins, but big losses for Native White. So that's how we get to that wild stat from Snow Stats as we hop back on board here with the rising superstar here in Barcode as they have the lead 4-2.
I don't know, Barcode. North America looks good on you right now, rocking with this Native White roster. A crazy display of slaying prowess in game number 1. Trying to do the same here, replicate what was working in game 1, bringing it into game 2. 6 rounds left in that sniper, but it's Spartan quick to shut it down. In fact, it's all of Sentinels rolling through. 2 go down for Native White. Sentinels putting the pedal to the metal, and I want to see whose hands that sniper ends up in. We might find out through the kill feed.
Sentinels pushing the pedal to the metal, but it's tapping buttons, realizing that it's not the right time or place to push in there. Love that disengagement from tapping buttons to make sure he's able to re-push this snipe tower with support as we see KingNick Able to take down one for Native White. Gilkey going down. 3 going down, though, for Sentinels. And it's all a cause and effect of tapping buttons, staying alive, playing his life, rotating back to A, anchoring those spawns, and pushing out from a position of strength rather than just half-assedly throwing yourself out there, maybe winning a piv, getting a trade. Instead, it's Native White continuing to maintain their lead.
And tapping buttons preserved his life. He's still sitting at 3-0, so that strategic retreat paying off now in dividends as he doesn't give up an unnecessary slay onto the side of Sentinels, and now regrouping, following back. Unfortunately, running into the 1v2, he had shots onto Spartan, maybe enough for Barcode. A little bit of distraction play for this flank. Gilkey does clean up that kill onto Spartan, but I don't know where the rest of Sentinels are at. Watch out, Overshield is inbound.
Big fan of sticking on board here with Barcode. He had a monster game 1. Slowed down a little bit from that pace of the killing frenzy we saw at the beginning.
Oh.
But still had a great game nonetheless. It was playing a lot of objective. I love that, especially that when you're on a killing frenzy, some players, you want to extend it to maybe a running riot. No. Barcode wanted to extend the time, the OBJ instead. Because of it, his team winning that game 1 down, or excuse me, up still here by 2 in game 2.
Yeah, but Sentinel's time on that break was perfect. They got the break kills just as Overshield was coming in. You saw Spartan on the kill feed and Kuhlect now with Overshield. Heat wave in hand. What can you do with this Kuhlect? Gets 1 takedown, looking for the double. It's enough for an assist. And now Native White are on the run. The lead has shifted. Sentinels now ahead by 1.
Yeah, one of those instances there with the Overshield for Kuhlect where it's not necessarily like he popped off with it, but the attention was all on him at the cuts because of it. His teammates able to come in and clean up and collect some of those kills that he missed out on.
Did you say that on purpose? Was that a freebie, collecting on the kills? The kills that pay the bills, or at least hopefully here, if it's Sentinels down 1-0 in the series, a 2-point lead is not going to be enough comfort for them. Kuhlect, knowing that that sniper is coming, tosses out all the grenades, sets up that double kill that Spartan reaps the benefits of. Sniper in the hands of Spartan. Barcode is pinned. 2 players on net side. If he can find that angle, that line of sight to hit the headshot.
It's Sparty time. His team now with a 3-kill lead, and we've seen him in Slayers literally take the game in his hands with the likes of a sniper rifle. Here on Livefire with that sniper. Doesn't spot an opponent just yet as he looks to play his positioning here. Play back to full shields. I love that because you're going to get an extra pop shot if you are to re-engage. Sparty still not able to spot a single player. Barcode with a bait switch, though. Sparty's attention on Mikwen. Barcode popping out like a jack-in-the-box. Takes him down as Native White looking to answer back.
Yeah, Spartan not really known for his patient gameplay so much, and maybe a little bit overextended slightly onto the sandbags, and that was all Native White needed. But a quick response now from Sentinels. In fact, even off of Spartan and the sniper being dropped, they extend their lead now to 4. They have the full setup that they want. Native White are spawning back at tower. Kuhlect grabbing a couple of spikes can really block off that nest rotation. Where are Native White going to make a push? Top mid, turbine?
Looks like the tunnels are going to be the route, the subway system. As Kuhlect pushes through, but leaves his teammate, it looks like, to double back for Mikwen. Have to be comms or something there. That's a huge pickup for Kuhlect. Spotting Mikwen and stopping the bleeding for Native White as they maintain that 3-kill deficit we're previously up to. So gonna have to find an answer here, maybe in the form of that next sniper, that next Overshield, as it looks like we're going to reach a standstill here at the halfway mark.
You know what? You want to know what's wild to me right now? Native White are out assisting Sentinels by about 5.
Oh, wow.
If I'm doing the math correctly. Like, that's a significant point for half of the game, but they're down by 3. I mean, usually when you're in a Slayer, assists are going to tell that story, but Sentinels, they're just winning those 1v1 fights. They're winning out the slays that they need individually. Some of it's off of the Overshield or those power weapons. A trade comes through, Spartan and Mikwen, but Kuhlect comes out with a double kill. Watch out, Sentinels are on the way back in the series.
3 go down for Native White once again, and that lead is doubled to 6 now, 29-23. LethuL looking to play aggressively, but those spike grenades are going to send him back. And with Overshield and Sniper coming up in 15 seconds, it looks like they'll pause the push for now and play for these power weapons and power ups.
And here's the thing, LethuL can play for Sniper because he has the counter to the overshield, the plasma pistol in hand, and that's what you see LethuL right now, baiting out that push for overshield, doubling back to help out a teammate, securing the Sniper, but he knows overshield is right there, tapping buttons, tapped the right button to dodge that plasma pistol round, but the second one is gonna hit its mark. That's why LethuL played for Sniper. He had the counter in hand.
LethuL persistent with the push. Keeps Sentinels up 6. And oh my God, look at that. The rapid fire with the plasma pistol is doing enough damage to cause some disruptive sequences for Native White. This has really been a Sentinel squad now that is seemingly throwing Native White off their game, as we saw such a strong strategical performance in game 1. So it's Sentinels, despite all that, still with that 6-kill lead.
And the key here for Sentinels is to lock into that duo. It's Spartan and KingNick. They need to come out with the slays for their team. That is the key to success. Right now, KingNick is just shy, 9 and 10. Spartan even at 8 apiece. And honestly, it's LethuL who's really kind of picked up the slack, if you will, right there, being the player with the most slays to give them this advantage. But right now, with no power-ups to contest to, we see a familiar mid-game slowdown.
Yeah, a little bit of a slowdown here, and the strategy for Native White as we approach the 40s is going to be to bring this back to within a 4-kill game, just like we saw them do earlier against Shopify Rebellion when they were down 48-46.
Oh, man.
We felt it. You could feel it. That was the mark for them, was to get to that 46, to be within 4 kills at the end of the game, into the 40s. I have to imagine Native White going to rely on the exact same strategy we saw against Shopify Rebellion earlier.
And Mikwen leading this team from Native White, showing that calm, cool composure, that they are just not shaken, as we saw from the previous series. They're showing us more of that same thing. They might have just been down by 5. They cut right back into that lead 3, and they seem to have their comms locked in. Barcode is sneaking through the tunnel. He uses the repulsor. There's the pancake, LVT pancake in the chat. Best middle in the game. Prove me wrong.
Sparty now with that heat wave creeping around the corner, but it's Kuhlect taking down Mikwen instead, as Barcode cleans up Sparty. That's a part of the map. That's a point on the map. That's going to be a point of contention now, as the heat wave is down on cuts. Imagine collecting something like the overshield and the heat wave all in one fell swoop. That is what is there for the taking for one of these two teams. Looking to see who was able to grab that overshield. I think LethuL might have grabbed it and gotten it burned away. Yes. That's huge here, as Native White, we've seen this before, all they got to do is stick around going into the 40s, and don't look now, Magic, it's a 2-kill game. 2-kill
game. Spartan on the hunt. He has heat wave back in hand. He has damage onto multiple targets. And again, not willing to sit back and play patiently. Spartan wants to get this breaking kill. Overshield is not in place. Sniper is just seconds away. 5 seconds at that 3-minute mark. We're going to have the Sniper up for grabs. Spartan is locking down top mid. He tosses the plasma out.
Combat Evolved.
Was it too early? No, he catches it. There it is. Combat Evolved across the screen, using the plasma to launch the Sniper into a safer pickup location.
And it was all the timing there for Sparty, preemptively throwing that sticky grenade down, still with 1 second on the board. So recognizing the fuser time for that sticky grenade, perfectly timed Combat Evolved, and because of it, Sparty now has the Sniper in his hand, and he's taking heads.
You get the Sniper in hand, you put it to work. Spartan is doing exactly that. Snipe straight to the head, looking across top mid. He has the player weak, going for a little bit of a ricochet bank shot damage, but he doesn't have time to celebrate that assist coming through. 2 players pushing from Nest. He is dropped. Those weapons are going to be changing hands. This is a 3-point game. Mikwen with the heat wave, Mikwen with the Sniper, Mikwen with the keys for a potential comeback.
And he stayed alive. He stayed alive. Unbelievable play there. Just able to keep his life, and now you got to do more than that. As Sentinels 4 kills away from winning this game, but Native White within 4 kills from taking the lead back. This one's going to be close.
And you know that Native White, they came back from 4 down in Slayer just last series. They could do it again. Mikwen has no ammo, 0 ammo to his name.
Oh my God, no shields, no ammo on the Sniper, no ammo on the heat wave. But you know what he does have? A big brain, utilizing all of it to stay alive in 2 back-to-back sequences. Because of it, Native White now only down 2.
A 2-point game. A very familiar scenario for Native White in a Game 2 Slayer. And the next pick might just snowball effect the end stage of this match. Is it going to be Barcode with that pick?
Well, let's break this down. This is shaping up exactly like the Shopify Rebellion series, where Native White waited for that pick with the sniper on recharge. Now on live fire, you have the S7 to work with, but it's Sparty instead with the opening break kill. It's a reversal of fortune here for Sentinels as they get the opening kill and start to push out.
Spartan gets the pick. Kuhlect follows up with a kill of his own, and now it's Sentinels. They only need to hunt down the last two players, but just like early in the game, Native White recognition is so key. They were down in numbers. They retreat, but what they lost in the process of that fight is 2 more points, and now Sentinels only 2 away. Native White out of reach of a team slay to get back in the game. Watch the clock, though. 28 seconds. Sentinels can afford to wait.
Wow, incredible bounce back game there for Sentinels. And with their, with the way the series is going, they couldn't afford to go down 2-0. I was going to hesitate to say it, but I'm just going to say it. They could not go down 2-0 in that series. I think they would have been checked. So now instead, you got a locked-in Sparty, you got a locked-in Sentinels, and now the task of reaching top 4, top 6 even in this series is looking a whole lot taller.
Well, we talked earlier about the different play styles, and we were kind of the contrast between Ryan play style and Spartan, and what you're talking about plays into that because we know that Sentinels are a very emotionally charged team. When they're hot, they are flaming hot, but when they're cold, they can easily get checked. So if they go down 2-0 in the series, that might have just been, okay, that's it, that's a wrap. But now that they tied it up, now that they're firing on all cylinders, they are a threat to be reckoned with, and I think that the test we were anticipating for Native White just kicked in.
Yeah, and I think this is another really good time to showcase to the community why stats don't necessarily matter. We don't have the stats up here from the HCS crew, but I don't think Sparty went positive. However, when it got close, when it got to within 2, it was Sparty with the 2 kills to bring it back to 4. Native White was never able to recover from that, so again, it's not about getting slays. You can pop off and hit a killing frenzy. You could go nuts. You could be undefeated on a killing spree. I don't care what it is. If you're not getting those timely kills when it matters most, it's almost like the kill never even happened at all. So finding those important slays, maximizing the opportunity, that is what we saw from Spartan. That's why Sentinels is now tied up at 1.
All right, correction from our main stat man, Snow Stats on Twitter. Go give him a follow. He says that the stat is that if Spartan has the most kills on his team, they are undefeated, and he did have the most kills. So it's not about the KD. It's not about the positive or negative. It's just who's getting those kills up on the board. So Spartan coming through,
he was
like you said, at the end
dead
of the
even.
game.
Dead even.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show
13,
people see 1.0s from the likes of Formal or LethuL, and they start trolling, and it's like, that's not. Yeah, we got to look big picture, guys. It's lazy to consume the 1.0 or the stat sheet and just derive all of your thoughts and feelings from it. There's way more that meets the eye.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to those fine-tuning details here because we have a series on our hands, Mikowski, 1-1 as we roll into Game 3. Hoping this one isn't as confusing as the previous mirrored series, looking for the strategies from Native White and Sentinels to show us how King of the Hill Recharge is meant to be played.
Gilkey here looking to maintain his life on the grapple hook, but he has 2 players for Sentinels on the other side, recognizes that, spots it, and dips back here into the corner to maintain his life. That's the sort of survivability you expect from veterans like Mikwen and Gilkey.
Off-screen, Barcode picks up a kill with use of that commando. That weapon also dangerous. Native White with the first control. We're even slays for slays on both sides. But it's all about that hill time. Here's a pivotal kill, and it's Kuhlect, this up-and-coming Slayer for Sentinels over the experienced Slayer of Gilkey.
And just like that, a lot of deaths in the feed. Really hard to tell and make sense of who got the edge in that one. But we're going to give it to Native White as they claim the hill shortly after, but no. They didn't have enough slays to feel comfortable enough. And that's the level of discipline that you get with a team led by the likes of Mikwen and Gilkey, and even for the likes of Barcode and Tapping Buttons, more up-and-comers in the scene. That type of experience rubs off, especially on the likes of a Shopify Rebellion, Ryan. That experience rubs off on the likes of Karmea, so important little mini kind of details to note here with this team composition for Native White as they look really good here, but it's now Sentinels back on the board.
Finally getting some time on the board are Sentinels, but just as quickly, KingNick needs to rotate away. He's going after Tapping Buttons. He's getting the takedown, immediately traded right out. Even though he had the back of Tapping Buttons, Tapping Buns was able to do enough damage to set up that trade potential. And here's the disruptor in play. It was the damage over time that got the kill.
Yeah, Sparty continued to move around that barrels area of the map. Because of it goes down to the damage over time. Remember, you've got to stop moving if you start to inflict DOT with that disruptor. Still seeing a lot of instances where that's information that's seemingly not known by the wider portion of the community and some of these competitive players, as we have 2 down now on each side of the feed. Barcode, I think it's so huge for him to stay alive with this disruptor here because of the ability to use that pad on the King of the Hill to disrupt and put damage down, but instead he goes down. And I know it's not a power weapon, but that's a utility. That's a weapon on the map you're going to want to go pick up over at Long Haul. But 3 go down for Sentinels, 2 for Native White. They've got a narrow edge here in this hill.
Yeah, it's always shock rifle this, shock rifle that, but the younger brother of the shock rifle is the disruptor pistol. Don't underestimate what that disruptor can do, especially when you have zones or hills involved. LethuL gets a nice kill, backs right out of danger with use of the grapple, and then jumps backwards, maybe to use the grapple to get back, or at least not give up that equipment. Yeah,
that was a hedge your bet situation there from LethuL. Knew he could grapple back onto the map if he did survive, and if he goes down, he doesn't give up that utility to the other team. That's, again, the type of heady plays, this type of plays that don't show up in the stat sheet for guys like LethuL, who are still playing at the top level regardless of what the community says. Back on board here with Spartan. 2 down for his team. He's going to have to get out of that hill. That's smart there from Spartan, but not enough as the grenades heat-seeked onto Sparty. Just as he was starting to heat up, remote detonation for LethuL on the other side of the map. Only 1 more second to earn this first hill. The push is on from Sentinels. A little bit of desperation, and this is big because rather than rotate for this next hill, it looked like both teams contesting all the way to the very end on that first hill. Regardless, though, it's Sentinels getting the early advantage on hill number 2.
And Gilkey taken down. That shock rifle is on the ground at pit, right at the bottom of the elevator side stairs. Looks like Commando now the weapon of choice for Gilkey on the rotation, but such a hard hill to break into. You really need to push for that top attic control, which is what KingNick has locked down. Here comes the flank play. Nick sets up the damage. Spartan coming through. You see the grapple in hand, like Tarzan swinging through, and all this time, LethuL's locking down the objective. Look at how much time they've gotten uninterrupted.
It was 75% at the start of that sentence, Magic. Now it's a 100% as we have a tie game here. Great objective play there from the likes of LethuL.
The objective play was there, but also the slays. Kuhlect was popping off, Spartan popping off. I mean, you had everybody filling their role, and that's somewhat what Sentinels will see, that they will play roles when it comes to that King of the Hill. Usually it's Kuhlect with the objective, but this time kind of trading out, letting LethuL lock down the hill, and now you see Kuhlect back in that familiar position, locking down this doorway with use of the shock rifle, but the push is coming through Whirlpool. It's 1, 2, maybe 3 players. Might see a little bit of that chain reaction damage, but Kuhlect re-peaks at the right time. He's dealing out the damage, but he's also receiving. He's going to have to retreat off of this fight. And as he leaves, KingNick goes down.
Wow, and that was almost 2 uncontested hills straight for Sentinels as they get right onto the edge. And what's especially interesting to point out, Magic, for Sentinels is they had previously scored that hill on the opposite side of the map. Right. So that's 2 hills now, 2 sequences where Native White has not been able to get the early rotation here, but now they do, as they've got the back of Turbine. And that's part of what we see from Native White. Even when they're losing games, even when they're down, they seem to be adapting, adjusting, and improving throughout the match.
You love to see that constant adjustment, adaptation. Sentinels up 2-1 in this King of the Hill. The camo comes up, and Tapping Buns is so ready to get that slay at the perfect time. He's going to get the full use of this camo, and it's once again, this is just like that long haul side. They have everything going. Kuhlect with a shutdown? I was setting up such a great line, but no, Kuhlect shuts that right down with a remote detonation.
Wow, that is one of the most unique ways I've ever seen camo neutralized in Halo Infinite. Big brain plays all around here. Despite the fact that Ryan Noob's not in the lobby, we saw a lot of nerdy plays earlier. Still continue to see the strategy on full display here as Native White at that 75% mark. Sentinels at the quarter mark, but they're going to need a full dollar bill if they want to extend the lead to 3-1, and that's one of those swings, Magic, right? Even in Team Slayer, it can be massive, but it's even bigger in King of the Hill when you're looking at either a potential 3-1 lead or a tied game here, as this one could go either way.
Yeah, this hill is so crucial. We need to see Native White coming for the tie, but it's been LethuL lurking at the back of C nonstop, re-engaging at the right times. It's a 1v1 tapping buttons versus LethuL. LethuL dips out of that fight, waiting for a teammate to get the cleanup, but it's not going to be in time. That capture comes through. It's 2-2, and the Repulse almost stuck the landing onto the Sword Island.
Yeah, I thought LethuL did Barcode a favor there, but because Barcode thought he was going off the map, he was holding forward on that left analog stick, flying off the map as a result, as he goes down, and so too do the rest of Native White. A little bit of that cause effect there as the numbers continue to roll in favor of Sentinels, but neither team has found the break on this hill.
This hill can be approached from many angles, but Garrett locked down the strategy so well. It's all about controlling that A elevator side spawn. If you want to control Whirlpool Hill, and that's what Spartan is doing right here, right now. He's getting some initial damage out, but most importantly, he's securing that spawn point for the Sentinels. He rushes in. He gets a little overeager. He goes for the trade. Here comes Kuhlect following up. Finish that kill. Gilkey down to one. Gilkey with a plasma pistol. Kuhlect can't find him on the kill. He finally gets the slay. He tries to make it into a double. And look at the hill. Hardly any time acquired.
Hard-fought trade there for Kuhlect. He ultimately goes down, and Gilkey did a great job. He was looking like a very tough slay. Nonetheless, it's a trade-out in kills. It's a trade-out in this hill, as Native White just now narrowly take a little bit of a lead here on this fifth hill. And with a minute and a half left and the Mosh Pit Hill up next, this game could very well come down to needles.
Maybe only a needle's difference between these two teams to decide the winner of Game 3. This hill up for grabs. Native White nearly halfway captured, but here comes Spartan. The slay is his 12, 12, and 12. It's an easy stat line to remember right now for Spartan as he adds on to the objective time. He's holding it down. They got that first quarter, but like you said, they need a full dollar. And this might be the calm before the storm. Both teams prioritizing how important this hill is. Spartan the only one on the objective. Other players trying to get the opening slays, but look at the slays. Native White get 3 on the board. LethuL last alive, and Gilkey with a beautiful repulsor play sends Sentinels 4 down.
And in a pivotal sequence, it's Native White getting the better of Sentinels and edging out a narrow lead on this hill. And just before that, team wipe for Sentinels. It was tied in the series, tied in the hill, tied in time on this hill.
But
now it's Gilkey and company with the nade, taking down more of Sentinels, taking on more of that hill time. And yeah, with that next hill going down to bottom mid, it's about a minute left like we thought it might be. This is going to be very difficult for whichever team is not able to get this hill. It's going to be Sentinels. This is going to be a tough comeback for them. 114, and they've got to throw themselves into this mosh pit.
It was Gilkey, and I believe it was tapping buttons right there at the box in Whirlpool, playing cat and mouse as one was weak, the other filled in, and they rotated back and forth. It was long enough to milk the final seconds on what could be the game-winning hill, but not just yet. Mikwen with the camo at the ready. Rotating through, 3-2 Native White. Sentinels desperate, LethuL as the last alive.
All the attention on Mikwen there. And did you see, after he got the plasma pistol land, shot hit connect on that first player, he didn't even worry about cleaning up the BR. He didn't even pull out the BR. His goal there was only to do damage, knowing that that's all his team needs here. They're not going to play for they're not going to play for time at all here. You won't see them step foot in that hill. They're going for damage. They're going for slays.
It's Team Slayer right now for Native White with that 3-2 lead. 30 seconds left. LethuL tossing every grenade, and you can just tell almost a desperate pace. Native White, however, finding 2 kills. LethuL once again finds himself singled out, taken down, and now we're down to just 15 seconds.
A miracle needed here for Sentinels, as they would have to play the most perfect Halo. Maybe 2-3 team wipes needed with 12 seconds left. You're going to have to cycle all the way through these guys, as it's not likely to happen with Kuhlect going down. But despite Kuhlect going down, they're still milking some hill. But that's all because Barcode is playing patient, playing his time, playing his advantage, as this game winds down to 0-0 on the clock. Got to get tapping buttons out of the hill, as Native White move out of this Game 3 with a 2-1 lead in the series, and now have Sentinels on the brink of elimination.
All right, Garrett, are you happy? Did you see the stronghold recharge that you were hoping for? Some great strategies, a little bit more of the expected play style. And Native White, once again, we're going back and forth through the series. Game 1, Game 3 to Native White, Game 2. But what I want to ask, I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot. Sentinels, they haven't won an objective game yet. They need to right now. Do they have what it takes?
Nope. Nope.
Straight
I see him. I call it like I see him, and we started to see that earlier in this tournament. Even today, when I watched the G1 versus Native White series, I could start to tell. Because let's be honest, I said this earlier, but if Native White had won that Game 5 against G1, they might take first in pools. Right? So you have to remember, despite them not being the first seed out of pools, they played up to that potential. And if you materialize it, if you metamorphize it, I'll take it. I don't know if that's a word. We're just going to, whatever. It's going to lead to a top 4 finish like we predicted for them. So don't materialize. There we go. Metamorphosize? I don't know. It's been a lot of Halo, a lot of stuff. It's been a long weekend, but a fun weekend nonetheless. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to the LVT Halo stream. It's been one of my favorite weekends.
Spam this code for Barcode.
Yep.
Spam this code for Barcode. I think he was the leading slayer in that last game as well. So shout out Barcode. You got a fan. Come on.
What do you got, Garrett?
Come on.
You want to come sit on the lap?
Spam this toad for Barcode.
Oh, whoa. I mean, I'll leave. All right, here we go.
Barcode fans here.
Next game setting up is going to be, again, we're in that mirrored series. This is the CTF Argyle. Could go the distance, or Native White could just come out guns blazing, take this series. At least if they're going to follow along with what Mikowski has been saying. He's seeing some of that the beauty, that smooth play, right? I'm seeing it. Native White, I will be honest, online play, they were lacking. They were slightly lackluster.
They were still feeling it out.
Polish happened between online play and LAN. They're looking sparkling clean.
It made so much sense to me, and I kicked myself for not predicting Native White because I should have known that it was bait how poorly they played in the online qualifiers. And we even had a match.
That was the big brain play.
We even had a match where we talked about why Native White wasn't playing up to form in those qualifiers, but they've answered and they've worked on all those deficiencies in the weeks since.
The problem was time, and then the answer was time, and that time being put well to use for Native White. Here they are, up in the series 2-1. Mikwen already, sniper and camo in hand. The body shot comes through. Native White are going to come out the gate strong to try to wrap up the series, but it's LethuL who's putting on the brakes.
Yeah, you got it. I say this a lot, but
overkill,
LethuL with the over. That's huge.
Mikwen didn't go down in that series. So he got 2 kills on one of the other players.
Yeah, LethuL able to cycle and trap a second player who dies twice in that overkill. But here's the thing. On a map like Argyle, you really need more than just one overkill to even get a flagpole. Look at this. An overkill for Sentinels and no flag run, no pressure. It's 2 down now instead for Sentinels as Mikwen wisely depletes that sniper and his life off the map.
No sniper up for grabs for the Sentinels. It's sent flying through space. Mikwen now on the respawn, back in the fight. Sorry, this is Barcode, actually. Now we're on board with Mikwen. Mikwen rotates through bottom of the base, flushing out any lurking players in the corners. He gets 1 kill. He gets the assist on the second. Oh, my goodness. This is beautiful team fire right now from Native White. I know the game's not over. There's not even a capture, but the fact that he got the kill assist at the back of the other team's base, something's happening that's working.
Yeah. Yeah, and before LethuL popped off with that overkill, I wanted to say that this is a game 5 for Native White. You don't, as much as I believe in them, and like I said, predict them as a top 4 team, you do not want to go to a game 5 against the likes of Sentinels and Spartan on LAN. His energy level's enough to go Kamehameha Super Saiyan. You don't want to face Goku and Vegeta in a game 5 as Native White looking to shut down any hopes of a revenge arc in this anime as 2 go down for Sentinels. Mikwen, just going to play with that camo and play space.
I'm a little confused about what's happening right now. Are we still live? Something, okay, because I thought Mikwen was firing at his teammates.
Yeah.
I saw tapping buttons, I saw Barcode.
That was an observer glitch?
And I thought, okay, maybe it's the wrong name tag. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit baffled. Obviously the stream is going to crash. So I think what we're going to do is, are we pulling up the main broadcast? No, they're doing the same thing where they're Got it. Okay, we're going to take a brief pause. Let's keep talking. We kind of left off the conversation, so I'm going to kind of like, I'm confused. Stream crashes. I don't know. Honestly, sorry guys. I'm just a spokesperson for what we're all thinking. What is happening?
Yeah. There we go.
Are we back in? Oh, okay, never mind. No intermission.
Plays.
You take it.
LVT with the big plays on the side. Such a lovely. I love this. I love LVT Halo so much. Oh my God, such a great experience being here with the team this weekend in person. We've casted so many tournaments online. It feels great to tap Garrett on the shoulder, to give Magic a big hug. It's been great being here on LAN with you guys this weekend. As we have Mikwen pushing up. But that is going to get shut down quickly. A sniper shot to the body and a headshot from Gilkey takes Sparty down as we hop back on board here with Mikwen.
Some teams are better on LAN than online, and I like to think the LVT Halo team brings it up a notch on LAN. We're a LAN team, baby. Let's go. Let's see if Native White can be the same. They've shown us another facet to their ability as a squad, and Mikwen might not always be leading on the stat side of things, but that leadership is palpable in how the team plays so unified for such a short time that they have been playing together.
Oh, okay. Just so we don't get confused again, when it goes to Barcode, it says Mikwen in the bottom left. So just for the sake of us on the casting side,
still stands.
Especially because that was confusing the hell out of me, and they're going to just remove it. That way we can just take a look at that arrow instead, as it looks like we have a flag out for Native White. Flag so hard to come by here on Argyle. Plenty of low flag scoring games. We see 1-0 enough sometimes to take the win. Will Native White put this in? It's getting close, but you have to play like this. You have to stop right before you score to disrupt the timing, disrupt the pace, maybe get a few more slays as Native White play it perfectly and go up one.
You know, in basketball, they call that the stutter step. If you're going in for a layup, you just throw the defender off their pace, and that's what you're doing on that flag cap. If you're going in for the layup, you want to stop the defenders, but the resource expenditure. Barcode is last alive on the side of Native White, and he's in a bit of a 1v2. The recruits, the backup is coming through, though. Native White starting to win out more slays off of those respawns.
Hopping back on board here with Barcode, because he's got the shots down on KingNick. 2 down for Sentinels. A numbers advantage here, but Kuhlect gets the back of Gilkey. That potentially stops a feverish, fast-paced push for Native White, as they will elect to get the OG Gilkey back on the map, off of the respawn screen. Reset, recollect yourselves here, as Mikwen now has that sniper rifle to work with. 15 seconds till camo comes up, and this is one of those, or excuse me, 5 seconds till camo comes up, and this is one of those instances where the focus is all on top mid.
I want to see who's playing for this camo, because right now Mikwen is really scoping over, using it once again as bait.
Oh
he finds one.
Did he burn it? Did he burn it?
I don't know. Did it drive?
It's one of those instances where it looked like it went into the soup, but I don't think he did burn it. He didn't. There's the camo. Oh my God! And it looks like Native White again not able to put the camo in. That's still a play ball.
Where is camo is the new version of where is Waldo. You gotta search high and low to find out where that power up has gone. Mikwen might not have utilized or burned it, but dropped it off of that snipe kill, and now on the rotation, here comes LethuL leading across the board in slays, 14-9. Still has the sniper in hand, repulses back some grenade damage, but it's not enough. Here comes the wave, the force.
Speaking of the wave and the force, though, I like that Native White has gone up despite going up 1-0, they haven't parked the bus. We see a lot of teams really emphasize defense when they go up on this map and game type. Instead, Native White using offense as a good defense instead as they look to push out. But like you said earlier, the pressure is on from Sentinels. Native White in that first particular instance of this match where they've had to play off their back foot, but they're looking good doing it.
I fumbled this on a previous cast, but the best defense is a good offense, and that's what Native White are showing us as they continue to apply pressure to the Sentinels, not letting them get comfortable. But Spartan has the sniper in hand. We saw him pop off Empyrean Slayer. Can he do the same here? And no, it's tapping buttons, taking down Spartan. That could be a key mental moment of the game, getting shut down with that power weapon in hand.
Yeah, 3 going down for Sentinels, and just like that, the camo is back up. So again, the focus goes away from the flag at a moment where, with just over 4 to go, we are 1 minute away from crunch time. Sentinels are going to have to figure it out, or they're getting sent home.
Oh, the sniper! Barcode's trying to send them all the way home. He's jingling the keys to the bus right in front of the Sentinels. LethuL, though, with the counter snipe opportunity. 7 rounds left. Already found 1 pick, but look at Sentinels. Look at the positioning. Look how far back they are suppressed in their base because of that constant pressure from Native White.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch this Native White team come all the way out of the open bracket to take on some of the HCS best teams here. As we thought going into this tournament, Magic, it was Native Red. Excuse me. I get confused a lot with those two teams. We thought it would be Native Red with the 4th, 5th, 6th finish. Now instead it's Native White looking primed for an improbable open bracket run.
It's not over yet. 3 minutes is what you called out as that crunch time here for Sentinels. LethuL still with plenty of ammo in that sniper to get that opening pick, to get that break kill. And there it is, that shot into Gilkey. Go now, Sentinels. This is your opportunity. Play those numbers. But even as they get 1 step forward, they're getting pushed 2 steps back. KingNick with a pick, Kuhlect with a pick. They're continuing this forward momentum. Finally, some combat happening on the opposite side of the map.
Huge play there from LethuL, staying alive, maintaining possession of that sniper rifle. Because of it, Sentinels now with a run in the late goings of this match to potentially tie it.
The potential tying capture is in the hands of Spartan. He stops just at that gap.
Oh, the wall
what a perfect! Oh, the double kill!
Oh my God! Sparty making plays again. It's not like he's double positive. He's barely positive, but he's making the plays that matter most as Sentinels have it tied 1-1.
You know, when they took him down with the snipe, I said, watch out, this might be the mental breaking point. Instead, it was the mental fuel. Spartan playing like he is angry and back for vengeance off of that flag run. He's taken down. He's hitting the respawn screen. He's going to come back with more of the same fire on board now with Mikwen. All the way up. Sorry, LethuL here. All the way at the base. Takes 1 kill. We're below 2 minutes left. Camo is up for grabs.
And this is a little bit of a shift in the feel of this match. Just as it looked like Native White was on their way to a series win, Sentinels putting it together. And it wasn't just Sparty popping off. It was LethuL with that opening break snipe that opened up the lanes that you need here on Argyle. We saw them stop the flag multiple times. This team starting to figure out this map, Argyle. You really do have those 3 checkpoints at the 33, 66, and even 99% mark of those flag runs.
You got to go the full distance. It's almost like the football field split up into first downs, taking one at a time. Look at this rotation, though. The grapple play from Gilkey at the back of the base. Kuhlect is just around the corner to the left with the sniper. That's a good frag. That's a great frag placement. He looks left, but the fight comes from the right. Barcode versus Spartan might be the piv, but they end up as a net trade. And KingNick with the flag in hand. Sentinels flipping this game back around.
3 down for Native White, but Sentinels is going to need more slays. Tapping buttons, last player alive, gets KingNick just as he gets around that corner. Oh, would have had it at the halfway mark, but instead, despite this scare, Native White are able to regain. Sentinels are still running this flag, but Native White has the positioning to stop it here at the halfway mark.
They got the touch. They reset the timer on the flag. It hasn't gone all the way through on the reset. Here comes the kill. Tapping buttons gets the slay. Both flags reset. 20 seconds to go. Look at KingNick spawning at the back of the base. He's going to be caught in between multiple Native White players. He gets a kill before they can collapse. We are looking at a potential sudden death flag run if tapping buttons can stay alive in the bottom of the base. 1 frag goes out. It's Kuhlect. Kuhlect is down. Tapping buttons left that 1 shot. That reset comes through. We're going to overtime.
Wow, LethuL with the opening offensive snipe that led to that first score for Sentinels, and then with the defense at the end to return the flag and send us to a sudden death overtime. Sentinels tournament lives on the line. If they lose, they go home. Native White doesn't want to go to that game 5 because of the likes of a enraged Sparty, a Super Saiyan Sparty is on the precipice here if Sentinels are able to take a miraculous game 4.
Sentinels are 3-1 in CTF this weekend. Native White 4-1. One of these teams is putting a 2 in that loss column after this matchup. And shout out to LethuL leading the slays for Sentinels, 25-16. The snipes, the pivotal turning point in that game to get the capture that Sentinels needed to send us here to overtime. More fights going down. 2 are down for Native White. Sentinels with map position.
Sentinels looking a lot more efficient here on land than what we saw in the qualifiers. 2.71 pulls per cap online, but here on land, 1.64 pulls per flag cap. We're seeing that efficiency, and that's why, with just one opportunity left, Sentinels was able to take it home and tie it. Because of that, we find ourselves here in OT.
Alive. The frag grenades, you see that? The VR fire tapping buttons, 2 frags. Okay, assist. All right, he almost came out with his life, but instead, 3 go down for Sentinels. Dangerous. Native White get to the flag. Oh no! Barcode was taken down. Spartan off of the respawn gets the kill, but they're out of that first stretch. That first 33% is crossed. Now looking for the 50-yard line. Spartan again stopping the flag carrier in his tracks.
When in doubt, play it out. Play for slays. That seems to be the strategy here, as we've seen time after time, right at that, we'll call it a choke point on this map at this point.
Yes.
Players go down, despite even having the numbers advantage. So something about Argyle with the lanes, the opportunities, the verticality as well. It is so difficult to get these flags home. And my goodness, Magic, we saw an OT2 online. Are we going to see one on land as well?
I mean, it's shaping up to be just that. Only 3 minutes left in this first overtime. No flag runs even crossing that halfway mark. Not even the second checkpoint being reached by either side. But this is what you gotta love. Like, I am so glued to the screen right now. Not literally, but so focused on the gameplay right now, because this is an all-out brawl. 1 round of slays, 1 player popping off will tip that scale.
And that decision there from Sparty to use the grapple hook to grapple a sniper to him that was 5 meters away tells me that he really wants to push the emphasis here. He used that last piece of the grapple hook to put the emphasis on Native White to play their best defenses. We now have Sparty pushed up to the other side of the map, sniper in hand. Can he land a shot? Couple nades going out, taking down 2 from Sentinels. Sparty now a last hope, and just as he wants to pull a flag out, it's a flag out on the other side for Native White.
This is something we haven't seen yet in this matchup on CTF Argyle, is the dueling flags, but Spartan not connecting on any of those snipes. Native White have the sniper in hand. I think it was Tapping Buttons actually dropped it off of KingNick's double kill. KingNick leading the charge now for Sentinels. This is just a game of moves and counter moves. I don't know if we're playing Halo or we're playing chess.
Oh, this is chess 4.0. This is high-level strategy from KingNick as he again stuffs himself into the corner and stuffs Mikwen into the respawn screen. This one looks like it should go home for Sentinels, but they've got to play it safe. Go for the G-slide. Land it if you're Sparty, and just like that, what do you know, Magic? We're heading to a Game 5.
Oh boy, Native White came out strong in game number 4, but they didn't lock down the game. A 1 capture advantage. I think there was 2 minutes left on the clock before Sentinels made the flag run to tie the game, taking overtime. And not only overtime, but a Game 5. I need to catch my breath, but there's no time for that. Only Halo. LethuL with a 12.3 KDA.
Wow. Yeah. LethuL was in full form there. Full form there as we saw him break open that opening shot. Without that snipe, Sentinels is home. They're already packing, right? Instead, we're going to a Game 5. And I said earlier that this is Native White's Game 5. The reason why? Native White 0-2 this year in Game 5s. Sentinels 3-0.
There's one thing.
What do you got?
I wish we were at the venue, because after this Game 5...
No, Sparty literally... he's going to... You know that drop that you got at Season 1? That's literally going to be Sparty. Going absolutely nuts.
Okay, on one side Sparty, but on the other side Barcode has really been picking up his trash talking game. I'm saying either way this Game 5 goes, I wish I was there to see the aftermath, because, you know, both of these teams are playing full speed. Like, they are playing with the intensity that this tournament deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe we talked about Barcode being such a nice guy, but maybe that smile's devious, maybe even a little devilish, as we might have the origin of a villain arc for Barcode going up against his former roommate. What a bad guy. What a villain, right? Sparty opens his home to you, and you're going to go and try to take him down in Game 5? all teasing aside, this game does have a lot of drama, a lot of personal connections, too, with some of these players, and I think that is something to take it for what you will, but these guys, as recently as a couple of months ago, were roommates, so interesting to see them going up against each other now in a Game 5 where the loser goes home.
Is Barcode on his villain arc? Is it a moment of metaphorical backstabbing as Spartan turns around and says, "Et tu brute?" As the dagger digs deep? I don't know. That's Game 5. That is some excitement built up, and honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. Both of these teams fully deserving to be here.
Yeah.
One of their runs being cut short. I don't know, chat. Let us know who's taking Game 5, because right now it is, what did you say earlier, a needle's worth of difference separating the two teams.
Yeah, and this could go either way. And we thought it was an anomaly in those open qualifiers. What was that, Taylor? I think 60% of matches went to Game 5s. I'd be really curious.
The qualifier was,
and that seemed very odd. So I'd be really curious to see if that carried over, and that'd be really interesting to carry over from online to LAN. I would expect there to be a few less Game 5s, but just based on the eye test, what we've seen here throughout the weekend, this feels a lot like the online qualifiers we just casted a week ago.
You know what?
Okay, 35%.
More than a third of
35,
series?
65. I was on the other side of the percentage, but still, 35, a third of the games, one in every 3 series goes to Game 5. Every Halo fan would take that, and we'll absolutely take that. We love that.
All right, but here's the thing. What if these Game 5s are just the new norm? It's Season 2, baby. Maybe this is what we should start to expect, because I tell you what, these players have worked hard. Native White have worked hard specifically to be on the broadcast. That's why we wanted to pick up their series against Proton, and now they are stealing every minute of screen time they can get. Well deserved.
And G1, the same thing. You had to, sometimes for these teams, especially if you're not partnered, you got to really fight. You really got to earn your spot on the main stage or on the broadcast. As G1 didn't get that opportunity until they went up against Optic in the semifinals. So the moment is there for the taking for both of these two teams. Sentinels, an organization, not necessarily a team because most of that team went to FaZe, but an organization that has many, many trophies here in Halo Infinite. Native White and Native Gaming looking to put the first trophy in their case, but it's a little too early to talk about that, especially coming from the open bracket. We've never had a team place first place from the open bracket. The highest we've seen, talked about it earlier, Charlotte 2007, top 4 for the SK folks. Roy and Lunchbox's introduction to the community, and I don't know, maybe a little bit of Barcode and tapping buttons and that kind of deal. I don't know. Maybe I'm stretching a little reach there. But nonetheless, this is really cool to see sort of history repeat itself all these years later, potentially.
Yeah, and on the same stomping grounds.
Exact same venue.
Literally back in
Literally the same venue.
years later. I know half the chat probably wasn't even born then. Garrett was, 2? I don't know. Like going into this game number 5, it's all on the line. Native White, Sentinels back and forth throughout this series, even and odd. Leading into Game 4, my question was, do Sentinels take an objective game? You can't rely simply on slays. But the other side of that question is, they're strong on the slaying side. Game 5 could be theirs. You add a little momentum on top of it. I think that for me, the key player to watch on the side of Sentinels is LethuL. And you might be surprised by that, but it came down for me to the live fire counterplays to Overshield. He is playing smart. He is playing calculated. If he can do that same kind of lockdown slaying prowess, I think LethuL leads Sentinels to this Game 5 win.
Yeah, LethuL, the lone surviving member from that original Dynasty roster. Oh, the likes of Tox, Optic, and so forth with Sentinels. Just a lot of history with that organization. And I think that, I got to say, I think they retain that, right? Sentinels, not the same team, but I still got to imagine for a team like Native White, you relish this opportunity to take down one of the Goliaths in the HCS, right?
This is their chance. And I think that the best players do really relish that opportunity, right? Not afraid of the spotlight, not afraid of the stage, but instead rising to the challenge.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me to think that one of these teams is going to fall short, not make it into tomorrow. But as we were waiting for game number 5, don't worry, we're going to get into that match as quickly as we can. I want to take a quick minute, shout out the whole team, especially LVT, Brandon, the producer, running the show behind the scenes tirelessly. You know, we get to rotate on and off. He's pretty much glued to that chair right there.
And he's making sure we have food. He's got, like, I was like,
I
dude,
give Garrett credit for the pizza.
yeah, that's true. Garrett and we'll give them both. We'll give them both. Let's give everybody else on behind the scenes a little credit.
Okay.
As we have Garrett off screen right now, doing a great job casting throughout the weekend. I've had a ton of fun with you. Garrett, to me, I've said this to Magic. Yeah, the G1 coming up with the hand sign for G1, but I love Garrett's style. He's poetry in motion, and sometimes he literally puts together poems when he's casting. His words are incredible, and so too is this Game 5 2-2 series. Native White Sentinels. One of these two teams has to go home. Which one's it gonna be?
Well, the opening kills coming from Sentinels, and watch out. LethuL already with 1 kill and 1 assist. An active part in both kills on the board, working in tandem with Spartan himself. Disruptor pistol back in hand. Look at the players rotating past Native White. Spartan's going to have his pick of the backs of Native White. They overextend. They don't check the corner. He finds 1. He's the distraction for the second.
Sparty could have taken some free shots at those two players pushing through the B rail. Instead, the patience and discipline to let that moment get into a little bit better spot where he had help on that top trash can side. Unbelievable play here from Sentinels. But despite that, only a 1-kill lead from them early on.
Tapping buttons with 2 kills on the board for Native White, but he was on the wrong end of that disruptor fire. Kuhlect comes around the corner, cleans up that kill, red gun in hand. Stalker rifle might not be a full power weapon, but when utilized correctly can have just as much impact. And Kuhlect is looking to do just that. Players from Native White, 2 are rotating B side, the other 2 rotating from P Street. But who's going to overextend? There's a player at the bottom of C stairs. It's Mikwen. Kuhlect versus Mikwen. First round of the Stalker rifle finds its mark, but the follow-up shots are not going to land. Kuhlect shifting his attention over to the B stairs. It's 2 and 2 on either side, and Kuhlect is left right in the same position, rescued by Nick's double kill.
Wow. Mikwen did a great job there. Although he eventually went down, did a great job disengaging from Kuhlect there. Was able to actually disengage and get another kill. It's one of the reasons why it's still a narrow 3-kill lead as Kuhlect maintains possession of that Stalker rifle, and he's going to back up here into C to use it to grab rockets.
In 2023, Native White is 0-2 and Sentinels are 3-0. So Native White really needing to rewrite history if they're going to break through and force the upset. But it's going to be hard to do as Spartan uses the rockets to add 2 more kills on the board. Here's LethuL at the back of A, takes 1, another assist coming through. The force is on, the push is on. Sentinels starting to get aggressive with their picks off of this 4-point lead.
Yeah, LethuL going down there, but it's a +1. It's a net positive sequence there for Sentinels as they have a 3-kill lead here. And Barcode now on the board. That's huge. He's had plenty of assists this game, but a player like Barcode, one of the players we expect to lead in slays, has got to get off the bench earlier. We saw that happen for Trippy and Optic Gaming, where he put it on. He ended up with 8-9 kills, but just starting out that slow in the Game 5 can really put you up against the wall here. As Native White doing a good job to stay in this fight, but they're going to have to start to inch forward a little bit. Sentinels is looking good.
Cutting that lead to 3. KingNick taken down. Mikwen, quarterback position, sitting at the top of heaven, has sight lines across the map. Does he see that KingNick is around the corner? He finds him. Damage from a teammate's going to set up an easy pick. Mikwen at full health, and now tossing grenades to try to set up more kills for another teammate. That plasma is launched, but it was Spartan lurking in the corner at the bottom of B stairs with the commando, with the thruster. Tapping is going to trade it back out. It's still a 2-point lead.
And we put out the APB all points bulletin on Sparty McFly. You got to watch out in Game 5. Most kills, most assists. You knew he was going to pop off, sitting now with a 2.0 KD as Sentinels has a narrow 2-kill lead. So right now, Sparty really captaining his squad to a potential Game 5 win here. And just like that, 2 go down for Native White. It's back to a 4-kill lead for Sentinels, looking to extend this possession, this team wipe to 2.
And every time we see a round of combat, Sentinels just adding 1, a net positive +1 per fight to slightly extend the lead. Rockets are back in play. Tapping buttons, pushing up C stairs. Kuhlect forces him right back. Kuhlect has 1 thruster, but he has a bulldog right behind. He gets the melee off before being taken down. Rockets are still in play. Drop wall eliminated.
Oh, huge sequence here. We're at the halfway mark. We're approaching the 30s. You want to take that lead into the 30s. for either of these two teams. Those rockets are going to help as Gilkey pushes up. Focusing more on the slays here, focusing more on his opponents than the rockets. Kuhlect instead focusing on the rockets. That's bait. Is he going to go down? Gilkey, the rockets are still bait. Watch your back as he goes down. 3 go down for Sentinels, though, as KingNick, the last player alive, as he gets stuck out of the palm trees. And if Sentinels go down again, lose this game, he's going to be on a much more extended vacation.
No time for vacations, Mikowski. We have a game 5 on our hands. Kuhlect with a rocket, lines it up, gets a clean kill. Scoops up a couple of grenades in the process. The thruster to work with. Kuhlect, this young gun, up and coming. 7 and 4, 8 assists. So much credit to him as he looks out, but not, again, it's that patience. It's about that awareness to know when to push, when to fall back. Mikwen is caught out. He's down to 1 shot, but again, Kuhlect not chasing after the kills. Smart play.
Kuhlect just hanging out, jamming to the music. He might even put a quarter in over here to the right and just play some arcade games as he looks to dominate and lock down that B side of the map. And it's been a real anchor point for Sentinels. When you look at it, you look at the B side as maybe a highway. Those B and cafe sides is a way to push through to PD or A or C. Instead, it's Kuhlect who is just simply locking down this location with rockets up in 5.
Yeah, we're seeing an almost Empyrean-esque strategy here where teams are focused on holding their spawns, waiting for the next power-up to draw them out of their bases, and that rocket is in hand. Watch out, there's a player from Native White on that high ground. It's tapping buttons at the heaven position, that ledge. Neither team wanting to risk going out in the open for rockets. It's one thing to get a hand on rockets, another to be able to escape and use them. Mikwen might be looking for an opportunity for that pickup.
Who's going to take the bait? Who's going to try to slide in for those rockets without the slays necessary? As we see 2 go down for Native White. Mikwen in a really tough spot here. As it looks like Sentinels with those numbers will push up for the rockets as they gain control of them. Mikwen goes down to low shields because of it. Kuhlect gets the double kill as well. And look at this, Sentinels starting to run away with it. The triple kill for Kuhlect. It's no reason why they've built this big lead on the back of a triple kill from Kuhlect.
Kuhlect is 10 and 10. The triple kill comes through. The lead extended to 8. Sentinels just an arm's reach away from taking this game 5. They've shown us the clutch factor time and time again in game 5, and they're looking to do more of the same. LethuL with the stalker rifle in hand and a familiar setup. This time Kuhlect at the top of C, where earlier we saw him holding down arcade, swapping positions, but tapping button gets the first pick, swapping around the weapons, trying to find that red gun. Here's Kuhlect on the pickup. Couple rounds left, shooting out the spikes, maybe some remote detonation damage, or at least denying them from the opposing team. But Kuhlect is singled out. He's collapsed, and he is taken out of that power position.
And for Native White, especially on a map like Streets, they haven't had enough sandbox control. But here we go. Just as I say that, it's the caster's blessing, I guess, as Barcode picks up.
Though.
Yeah, he picks up the stalker and that shotgun. Has 1 round to work with. You might even want to melt it here. There he goes. Melts that stalker down. And I assume they're going to anchor C here. Wait that 60 seconds out. Maybe, yeah, with the 5-kill spread, you can wait out 60 seconds. 3 minutes left on the clock, down 5. That's plenty of time, but you're going to have to play for these rockets as well. Barcode has the high ground.
Rockets got touched. I'm not sure where they ended up. Keep an eye out on the kill feed for that. Spartan gets a kill. Oh no, Kuhlect gets a kill. 3 go down. Gilkey is last alive. The disruptor pistol is only enough for the trade of kills, but a full team wipe. And the rockets weren't even used in that round of slays.
That's huge. Yeah, the fact that you're coming out with insurance rockets in the form of 2, a full stack of tube to work with. Kuhlect pushing up down the cafe side. On the other side, he's got 2 players waiting for him, but it's a great bait there. Barcode. Talk about a stutter step. There's the use of that stutter step, but it's KingNick cleaning it up. Now the push is on. Kuhlect leans into those rockets, takes down tapping buttons, and Sentinels here looking good on the verge of a series win, sending Native White home instead.
You know, I said it was going to be LethuL, the key player for Sentinels right now, but honestly, Kuhlect coming out of almost nowhere, responsible for 24 slays, 12 kills, 12 assists, but also only 5 deaths, only giving up 5 points, make it 6 as I talk about him for just too long. But Sentinels are 3 away. They go 4 down.
Oh my God, just as it looked like Sparty and the rest of Sentinels were on to the next round. Hold on to your buttons here. Tapping buttons with the slay. It's a 3-kill game. Watch out.
Buckle up because this game is not over yet. We're in that game 5. Both players, both teams are going to play down to the wire. Tapping Buttons has been making smart play after smart play.
Shoddy.
A crucial pick and now rewarded with the Bulldog in hand.
Did you go for Stalker? That's the question here. A lot of nades could come in from the high side of Cafe. You're going to take a lot of damage here on this P side, as you might just want to elect to back up. Go get that Stalker rifle. I believe it's up. That the 60 seconds was around the 3-minute mark.
No, it's in Barcode's hands.
But Barcode has it instead. He's putting it to good use. Oh my God, we have a tie game. 47-48. Barcode with rockets. Sentinels with the 1-kill advantage. 48-48. Barcode still with 1 left to use. He's got lethal, but he doesn't land the rocket. Did he get enough damage? You know, but the Stalker rifle is enough. It's the perfect 3-shot. And Native White are gonna complete the comeback and send Sentinels packing.
50-48, Native White complete the upset, making your prediction for top 4 looking so strong. And Sentinels with the ultimate Game 5 choke to send them out of the bracket.
Spam this tone for Barcode.
We want spamming of the tone in the chat because Barcode was the one to clutch it up in the final moments of the game.
In one of the most miraculous games you'll ever see in Halo Infinite, it's the tried and true strategy for Native White. All they want to do is just stay within reach. They're okay. They're comfortable in the uncomfortable. They don't mind. They can go down 4. It could be 49-45. They don't care. They play to play for that collective team wipe. They play for the break. They usually get the break. They get the power weapon. They time it with the power weapon as well as the wave rushes through and takes down Sentinels. Native White, the open bracket team, securing top 6 and a potential historic top 4.